Hi, I'm Erik Jensen. I'm the brewmaster at Flash Brewing Company, and I'm here to answer your questions today. The first one that I have is, what's the favorite beer I've ever made? And can't really say that I've had a favorite beer. Some of them stand out. At a brew pub I worked at, I made one called St. Sideburn. It was a Belgian dark strong ale, and I took some of that beer, I aged it in a wine barrel with Brettanomyces clausenii, and it turned out amazing. It was one of my favorites ever. Another recent one we did here was called Comet Hopper. It was available on draft. Hopefully we'll see it again, and it was a beer that was brewed with Comet hops, among others, and it was hop bursted. It tasted great. Second question, who is another brewer or brewery that you look up to? I'm a big fan of Modern Times right now. They make some really great beers, and their brewmaster is a guy named Matt Walsh, a guy I used to work with when I worked at Carl Strauss Breweries in San Diego, and they're making really inventive beers. They kind of have this I feel like they might be a cult. They have like their fun facilities, and they have like Yoda on the wall at one of their facilities, and they just somehow they have this cultish vibe, so I'm hoping they're a cult. And Matt Walsh would be a great cult leader, so Modern Times. What made me want to get into brewing? I love beer, primarily, and I love torment and long hours and frustration. So next question is, what was the first beer I ever made? And the first beer I ever made as a home brewer was a pale ale. It was an extract beer, so it came in a can, and it said no hops needed, so I didn't add any hops to it. It ended up tasting like black tea. I drank a whole bunch of it. One of the worst hangovers of my life, very memorable hangover, and I ended up somehow sleeping underneath the pool table, so that was a wonderful experience. But I kept going. Next question is, what is the strongest beer I've ever made, and was it any good? Before working at Green Flash, I was very into triple and Belgian strong ale, so I would make Belgian dark strong, St. Sideburns. I made a beer for my wedding, which was called Happy Nupty Ale, and it was also a Belgian triple. Those were both in the 8-9% range. So the strongest beers I've really made have been at Green Flash, and I couldn't necessarily say what the ABV was, but certainly over 10%, and typically beers we make at Green Flash are very good, so yes, it was good. When will Brewing at Virginia Beach be fully operational so we can see more Green Flash on the East Coast? We have been fully operational since January. We've been brewing there since November, and the only thing that wasn't fully operational in November was the packaging line, which was commissioned in January. Fully operational now, so you should be seeing more beer on the East Coast. Next question. How do I see Green Flash keeping its high level of quality in beer with relation to how much we're making? So we make a lot of beer here. We're probably going to be over 100,000 barrels this year, and I actually think it's easier to make high quality beer when you're making more beer. And the reason is A, it allows you to have high quality equipment, so it's easier to be consistent. When you make more beer, you have more money to put towards, say, a quality QA/QC program, which is great. Also, it allows us to, like our bottling line. When I started at Green Flash, we were using this sort of antique of a bottling line. It was probably from the 60s, and now we have a sort of vintage 2010 plus, 2015, I guess, or 14. Bottling line, which treats the beer really nice after it's been made. So lower oxidation, better quality equipment, quality QA/QC, all those things are really important to making high quality beer, and it's easier to do when you make more of it. Next question, where do I find inspiration for my beers, and what am I most excited about? I like beer a lot. I drink a lot of beer. I read about beer. But I'm also like an old guy with gray sideburns, so I don't get out to the bar as often as I used to. But I do have a lot of guys who are in their 20s, guys and gals who are in their 20s working for me, and they are also very fanatical about beer. So they'll bring, they know I don't go to the bar, you know, and they feel sorry for me, so they bring me like a can or a bottle of something really awesome that they've had, and so we draw inspiration from drinking other people's beers. We are also inspired by historical styles, like we just brewed a Hefeweizen, but we put a green flash twist on it by dry hopping it. So we get our inspiration from a lot of different places. We get our inspiration from other brewers. We look back through history, and we also just get it from our personal tastes. You know, me and my head brewer Kevin Barnes love Pilsner. We wanted to brew a nice Pilsner, so we brewed C2C Zwickel Lager. That is, that's where we get our inspiration from. It's just, you know, it's mostly about what we like. But there. What am I most excited about in beer? I love well-made beer. I love beer that is, well-crafted, lasts for a long time. Like it'll, you drink a pint of it out of the keg on January 1st and February 28th, it's still tasting great. I'm excited about high-quality beer. As far as styles go, a lot of people love these sort of hop bursted ales, and I'm super excited about hop bursting. I love to, like low bitter, high hop flavor IPA. We just came out with one called What's Golden. We're releasing in California only, I believe, but maybe you'll see it throughout the rest of America if it's well received. And that hop bursting is a technique where all of the hops are added either, say, a 15-minute addition before end of boil, at the end of boil, in the whirlpool, or dry hopping. So you get a lot of flavor, not a lot of bitterness. They taste great. Next question, do I like pineapple on my pizza? No. So before we finish here, I'd like to thank everyone for submitting their questions to us. We're all super passionate about beer here at Green Flash, and I know you guys are too, so really appreciate you guys drinking Green Flash beer and listening to this and submitting your questions. Thank you.